Tonight, a brisk walk outside is now a balancing act, and some homeowners could be walking on thin ice. Good evening. The city of Buffalo has a strong message for you. Clear your sidewalks or you could face a summons.
But as 7 Eyewitness News reporter Ed Riley found out, many neighbors really having a hard time chipping away at all that ice.
Horrible. I almost slipped like 4 times, and you got to take your time. They should be cleaned.
It has been a tough winter, and as a result, many sidewalks have been left either impassable or covered with a hard pack of snow and ice. Making the situation worse, some property owners are not making sure the walkways are cleared.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to walk. It's slippery. Like they don't throw any salt or nothing on the sidewalks.
Treacherous sidewalks pose a safety hazard. During an interview near the bus stops at Elmwood and Hurdle, we saw a woman fall.
Whoops, and there's a lady who just fell right there across the street.
Oh my gosh.
For people like this man who walks with a cane, just getting to the bus is a scary experience.
So all you need is to slip and fall and break what they did with my back surgeries.
Many are giving up and choosing to walk in the street instead.
It's a really tough workout, and so walking on the street, I'm sorry to say, it makes it a lot easier.
But the hazards of walking in winter traffic bring back sad memories of 2001, when 3 16-year-old teenagers lost their lives after being hit while walking in Niagara Falls Boulevard because the sidewalks were full of snow.
Because there's going to be a lot of accidents, a lot of people getting hurt, a lot of lawsuits.
In Buffalo, owners whose property abuts a sidewalk, including near a bus stop, are responsible for making sure they are clear, and failure to do so can result in a summons. But officials are trying to first educate property owners and plow drivers.
What we need to do is to help the kids and our seniors get down the street.
Over the next few days, the temperatures are expected to be well above freezing, and city officials are urging property owners to do their part. Now, as far as enforcement, the city of Buffalo says it plans to issue warnings first before taking further action. In Buffalo, Ed Riley, 7 Eyewitness News.
All right, thank you, Ed. And as we thaw out from last week's deep freeze, there are now growing concerns about the possibility of ice jam flooding. Crews from the city streets department spent actually part of the morning using chainsaws and shovels to cut small triangles into the ice along the Buffalo River. The 7 First Alert team of meteorologists says we can expect highs above 50 on Thursday, and the precautions used today can really help keep that ice moving.
They try to do a strategic where they think the break points would be. Again, the reason why they're triangles is because they'll break right at those points. But you want to make sure you stagger them enough so you can get that actual water flow that could get on top and to encourage cracking.
The Edward Cotter fireboat has been busy all as well, breaking up all that ice. It'll be back actually out on the Buffalo River tomorrow morning.
From Skywatch 7, a live look at Lake Erie, and look at that sunset. Well, most of the lake is frozen over, but some of that icy landscape could change. Let's check in with 7 First Alert Chief Meteorologist Aaron Mikowski to find out more about this week's meltdown, Aaron.
That's right. Temperatures are really going to soar as the week moves along. You can see with our Great Lakes satellite imagery zooming in here on Lake Erie. We're now at 81% ice coverage. The western end of the lake is completely iced over there from Toledo over toward Cleveland. Still some open water right near Dunkirk. And we're going to see pretty much the same situation as the week moves along. It's not going to ice over this week completely because temperatures will be close to 60 degrees as we head into Thursday. 30 right now in Buffalo, 31 in the Falls, 26 in Jamestown, 27 right now in Bradford. Take a look at our temperature tracker. Now, chilly overnight tonight. We'll start off your Wednesday with temperatures near 20 degrees. Wednesday afternoon, we're topping out in the low 40s here for Buffalo, Dunkirk, and Niagara Falls, with some rain showers arriving later in the day. Wednesday night, temperatures will continue to rise. And on Thursday, notice we are in the 50s across the area. Some of you could even hit 60 degrees. The snow is going to melt rather rapidly. We'll also get some rainfall. You combine that, we're going to see a pretty fast rise in the area creeks, which are completely jammed up with some thick ice. So ice jam flooding is certainly a concern as we head into Thursday, Friday, and even parts of Saturday. Now, the weekend looks very messy, so we do have a lot to talk about, and I'll get you all updated coming up in about 10 minutes. Back to you.
Thanks, Aaron. To Orchard Park, where members of the Buffalo Bills brass met with the media to set the course for the offseason.
7 Eyewitness Sports Director Joe Buscaglia was there. He joins us live from Orchard Park tonight. Hello, Joe.
Well, the season is over, guys, and as the Bills now shift into the off-season mode, as is tradition, with them and really every other team in the NFL. They have their season-ending press conference with the media and the decision makers over at One Bills Drive. And of course, much of the day was spent talking about some of the specific decisions they'll have to make. It was also a time to reflect on them, their team, and really where they want to go and how they want to go about getting there. And for both Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane, they know they can't rest on the laurels of this season after making it to the postseason in 2017.
One of the biggest challenges around professional sports, and I'll speak to football, what I've observed is to sustain success, because each year is different one from the next. Each team is different. And so the decisions we make roster-wise, personnel-wise, as we move forward will be key in trying to build off of what we did this year. That in and of itself is a challenge.
Now, the Bills will also eventually need to make a decision on quarterback Tyrod Taylor this year as to whether or not they want to bring him back for 2018. Same thing goes for offensive coordinator Rick Dennison, but that decision will probably have to come down a lot quicker than that. But as for those two decisions and much more, I've got my full wrap-up over at WKBW.com right now. In Orchard Park, Joe Biscaglia, 7 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Joe. State police in the southern tier are still trying to figure out what caused a school bus to slide off the road and roll down a hill. Happened about 7:30 this morning. This is the aftermath along the Allegheny River in Cattaraugus County. Police say 3 people were on the bus when it crashed through a guardrail, among them a young child. A bus monitor was taken to the hospital but is expected to be okay. The Red Cross is helping more than 36 people now homeless after several fires swept through 7 homes since Friday in western New York. The most recent fire started just after 6 this morning in this home on Shootram Street, just off Broadway in Buffalo. No one was seriously hurt.
A corrections officer in the southern tier is accused of having an unlawful relationship with an inmate. Police have arrested 38-year-old Matthew Anteloni and charged him with official misconduct after an investigation at the Lakeview Shock Correctional Facility. This is the second corrections officer arrested at this facility in as many months. In December, police arrested Officer James Bean for rape. The 41-year-old is expected in court in the next couple of weeks.
New York State is pushing to drop the lawsuit against former lawmaker Sam Hoyt. A former state worker filed a federal lawsuit claiming Hoyt sexually harassed her. The suit also claims there was a cover-up by the Cuomo administration. But the state says neither it nor the governor should be held liable in this case. Hoyt resigned from his state economic development job this past October. And just in from Washington tonight comes word that former White House chief strategist Steve Bannon has stepped down as executive chairman for the Breitbart News Network. Bannon reportedly fell out of favor with one of the website's major donors following the release of the book Fire and Fury. It quoted Bannon as questioning President Trump's mental fitness for office. The controversial sheriff pardoned by President Trump is now running for U.S. Senate. Joseph Arpaio made the announcement via Twitter. Arpaio was defeated last year after serving as a sheriff for 24 years in Arizona. He was also convicted of criminal contempt for ignoring a court order to stop detaining migrants.
Here at home, one Erie County lawmaker is on a mission to ban smoking in cars whenever there is a child inside. That law would make it illegal to smoke with anyone under the age of 16 inside your vehicle. Legislation calls for a warning process followed by fines of up to $150 rather. Legislator Patrick Burke is spearheading that legislation.
The East Aurora sinkhole that opened up back in November could cost the village about $1 million to repair. So the big question, who will be footing the bill? Days of heavy rain left this crater open, exposing the creek below. The last time this issue was repaired, part of the cost was shared by just a handful of property owners. And that's what village administrators will talk about tonight. They're going to determine how to divide the cost between all people who could see benefit from the work being done. We will be sharing the results for you tonight at 11 o'clock.
Straight ahead here on 7 Eyewitness News at 5 tonight, months after Hurricane Maria, and one important field here in the United States now feeling the brunt of the storm.
Also tonight, we head into the eye of the storm with former 7 Eyewitness News reporter Paolo Suro to see firsthand how this island is putting every ounce of energy it has to get back on its feet. Plus,
I think a good way to describe the flu is kind of getting hit by a brick wall.
Doesn't it feel like everyone you know has the flu right now? It's true. Western New York has seen a dramatic increase in cases. All new at 5:30 tonight, how local facilities are working to keep you safe and healthy. Plus,
oh my God, this is 101 North. It is 100% covered in mud.
But first, rivers of mud wreak havoc in California. Tonight, we take you into the thick of it all. You're watching 7 Eyewitness News at 5.
You are watching 7 Eyewitness News with Jeff Russo, Ashley Rowe, and 7 First Alert meteorologist Aaron Menkowski.
heavy rains have unleashed destructive rivers of mud and debris in Southern California. At least 6 people are dead tonight, and the images are simply jaw-dropping. Main roads covered in several feet of mud, homes wiped away from their foundations. Firefighters pulling at least 8 people to safety today, including a 14-year-old girl who had been trapped for hours inside a collapsed home.
I mean, look at the hill. There's nothing slowing it down.
Just amazing. Right here was the old saloon.
It actually moved me to the left side of the road. It was very, I was terrified, yeah.
Thousands of people have been evacuated while rescue crews continue to look for those trapped by all that mud and debris.
It has been more than 3 months since Hurricane Maria slammed into Puerto Rico. And while the devastation no longer dominates the headlines, more than 40% of the island is still without power. Former 7 Eyewitness News reporter Paula Suro is now with our sister station in Cincinnati. And she recently traveled to Puerto Rico, where her family is from, to see just how this island is getting back on its feet.
3 planes, 12 hours, 4 airports, countless devastation. As we land in Puerto Rico more than 3 months after Hurricane Maria hit, the darkness is evident from the sky and from the ground. Where I live, there's still no power. I've had no power since Irma, so I'm returning to the Dominican Republic. On the road, power lines are down, trees are torn, shops and restaurants closed, billboards destroyed, and traffic lights don't work. Now, the impact, of course, has also been felt in businesses like Marilin's restaurant in Atillo. This is what the deck looked like before the hurricane, and now this is what's left of it.
The chairs were floating. It was It was scary when we opened up the front door. The water just rushed out. It almost knocked us over.
People broke into the restaurant 3 times, stealing all they could find. That's how much of a need there is.
I cried. I even hate thinking about it.
They closed for 2 months after that. Now they've reopened because Puerto Rico se levanta. Puerto Rico gets back on its feet.
The kids with a simple toy are happy now. It's not like previous years where they'd be stuck playing with technology.
Groups like Rescatando una Sonrisa or Rescuing a Smile have been giving out toys to kids for 15 years, but this year was a different one.
We've seen more kids on the street, kids barefoot, some who I think have received no toys this year.
While they work on restoring smiles, we saw crews restoring the island, picking up trees and putting power back.
We're doing what's necessary to move forward like Puerto Ricans know how to do.
Again, that's reporter Paulo Suro reporting tonight. The mainland United States now facing new problems in the wake of Hurricane Maria.
Specifically, the medical field. Here in the United States, we are now facing a widespread IV shortage. Comes in part because Hurricane Maria destroyed a major IV bag manufacturing plant in Puerto Rico. Now emergency responders have to shell out extra money to get the bags, but after a shortage a few years ago, local ambulance service AMR says it has made sure that that's not the case in Western New York. They always keep a 6-month supply, they say, of extra fluid bags handy. The new year will start with new comfort for children and families thanks to the generosity of the Kaleida Health Foundation. Child and Family Services launched an effort to help families asking for beds during the holiday season. As soon as the word got out, Western New York responded. And thanks to dozens of warm hearts, 25 individuals woke up on Christmas morning in a new bed. Still, there were not enough beds for everyone, and that's when the Kaleida Health Foundation jumped into action and gave more than $7,000 to secure enough beds for additional families. And today, more than 40 beds were delivered to Child and Family Services.
Over here in the Weather Center right now with Chief Meteorologist Erin Menkowski. A warm-up on the way across Western New York. All eyes, though, right now on the waterways here in our area with the potential flooding.
Yeah, that's right. Potential ice jam flooding situation, especially as we get into Thursday and Friday. We're talking temperatures in the 50s, close to 60 degrees. We're going to get some rainfall as well. Things are going to melt very quickly. And some very thick ice on the local creeks, which could be moving around as we get into the end of the week. Right now, pretty quiet outside. We have a temperature of 30 degrees under partly to mostly cloudy skies, winds out of the west at 10 miles per hour. Again, we hit 34 today, so we did see some more melting of our snowpack, and there's going to be a little bit of water around. And now the temperatures are, well, the sun is setting and temperatures are going to be dropping off pretty quickly tonight. Watch out for some black ice out there, so certainly be careful on the roadways and sidewalks that have not been treated. You'll find icy spots on the roads. Temperatures will be in the 40s and then 50s. So 40s on Wednesday, 50s as we head into Thursday. It's going to be messy as we get into Friday and Saturday, as potential is there for some significant snow late Friday into Saturday. Right now, 30 in Buffalo, 31 in the Falls, 26 in Jamestown, 30 degrees in Dunkirk. Here's your temperature tracker showing tonight we dip into the upper teens, and then as we head into late Wednesday afternoon, we're getting mid-30s across the southern tier, low 40s for Buffalo and Niagara Falls. Temperatures actually rise as we get into Wednesday night, Thursday morning. We'll find highs in the 50s Thursday afternoon, and then temperatures will be dropping quite a bit as we head into your Friday. And highs are back in the teens for the second half of the weekend, so a weather roller coaster on the way. 7 Super Doppler, nice and quiet. You zoom out and you can see a few showers to the south of Cincinnati. That moisture will be heading toward us late on Wednesday. So here's a look at the hour-by-hour forecast. Notice partly sunny skies Wednesday morning. Clouds will increase. We'll get some rain showers popping up late Wednesday afternoon. Spotty showers Wednesday night. Now Thursday afternoon, partly sunny skies. A bit of a breeze. Those winds will be kicking up out of the south, so we'll see what we call downsloping. That's really going to help warm us up as well. So that's why I mentioned some of you could hit near 60 degrees on Thursday, and you'll also see a little bit of sunshine. Feel like a spring day, and then that front comes in. Look at that rain. Somewhat heavy at times late Thursday night into Friday. Colder air comes in, that rain will mix with and change over to some snow. Could see some freezing rain as well. So quite a mess on Friday. And then we're watching another system approach, and it'll be cold enough for possibly significant snow on Saturday. So late Friday into Saturday is a time period we have to watch. We go from the flooding situation with highs near 60 on Thursday, potentially heavy snow to start off the weekend. Your forecast for tonight, partly to mostly cloudy with some icy spots on the road. Your low tonight down to 18. On Wednesday, high of 43, morning sunshine, clouds will increase with some late day rain showers, winds out of the south 10 to 20 miles per hour. On Thursday, breezy and mild with rain showers late in the day, your high 57. Friday, temperatures drop. We'll have rain mixing with and changing over to snow. Saturday, near 20 with snow likely. Oh, could be a real mess on Saturday. Sunday, a cold day with temps in the low teens, mid-teens on Monday, low 20s on Tuesday. And we're back to near 30 as we get into the end of next week.
Look at that roller coaster. I mean, you need everything. You need a winter jacket, right? A spring,
some
spring
sunglasses
coat,
thrown
right.
in there as well.
Umbrella, a shovel.
It's going to be a tough situation because we're going to have the potential there for the ice jam flooding, and then there's going to be a ton of standing water Thursday and Friday with the rain, and then that's going to freeze up very quickly as temperatures drop off. So we have a lot of ice around right now, and that's not going to change for the weekend.
We'll certainly be keeping our eye on it for sure.
Yep.
Still ahead on 7 Eyewitness News, thousands of subway riders doing the no pants dance.
And all new on 7 Eyewitness News at 5:30, the former Gander Mountain store not sitting vacant for all that long. We're going to tell you who's in Tonawanda Strip Mall.
Get the latest weather alerts from the 7 First Alert team of meteorologists and the latest headlines from the 7 Eyewitness Newsroom by liking us on Facebook and following us on Twitter.
You know, guys, sometimes we forget our gloves or our hats. Well, these folks seem to have forgotten. Wait for it. We gotta wait for it. Yep, their pants. No, actually, it's intentional. This week, these New York City commuters took part in the 17th No Pants Subway Ride. It's a very cheeky event. It was started in 2002 by comedy group Improv Everywhere, where riders board subway cars at random, minus their pants, of course, and keep a straight face throughout the whole thing. The event has now gone global, with riders in over 60 cities around the world dropping trow to participate.
Well, you know, kids grow up so fast, don't they? One Philadelphia father showed just how fast. Using cheesesteaks, look at that, as a ruler, Brad Williams started using the cheesesteak sandwiches to measure his son. Lucas, at just 2 weeks old. What turned out as a joke turned into a monthly tradition that he called cheesesteaks for scale. As his son Lucas got a little bit bigger, the sandwiches seemed to get smaller. Fast forward to 2 years of age, he's not having it anymore. Look at that. Maybe he just thought the tradition was a little too cheesy. Maybe at 2, right? But when you give that to a 14-year-old or start measuring a 14-year-old with it, they'll just say, you can measure me as long as I get a chance.
Right, do I get it?
Yeah, exactly.
As long as I can eat it afterwards.
You think your son will do that with your new little grand?
Well, you never
baby?
know. Pizza and wings already, I think.
Oh, yeah?
Oh.
No.
Yeah, look at this picture. We've got to show it again. It's of Hudson Blake.
Hudson Blake
Such a
Radford,
cutie.
yes.
Do we have the picture? There he is. Look at that smiling little guy.
He looked at me after he opened his eyes and just started laughing. Am I that funny looking, do you think, or what?
Oh, you can see it. Look at that.
Yeah,
He's so cute.
Congratulations.
Actually, what's it? He's 3 weeks old today. I went down to Florida to see him last week, and he lives down there. And he's under a palm tree and having fun.
How can you not have fun? Under a palm tree, that's pretty great. And he's growing, I'm sure, quickly.
I guess. I can't really tell, but I guess because he's always all bundled up and wrapped up, you know.
Yeah.
But I guess he's getting bigger.
Well, a very happy baby he seems
Yeah,
to be.
congratulations, Keith.
All right,
Beautiful.
thank you. Straight ahead tonight, all new at 5:30, Solar City's Riverbend project flipping another switch now when it comes to production and jobs. Plus,
coming up, yeah, you can still get books at the library, but there's so much more. Robots, 3D printers, and studios where you can record your own music. I'm Mike Randall. We'll have that story coming up.
all new tonight on 7 Eyewitness News at 5:30. Health alert. Outbreaks of the flu spreading nationwide now, and Western New York is not immune. Plus, the future is now. We'll take a look at a concept car that will cater to your every single need. And President Trump and members of Congress scrambling to reach an agreement now in an effort to avoid a possible government shutdown.
Now with 7 First Alert weather. This is 7 Eyewitness News at 5:30.
Good evening once again. Hospitals all over the country are scrambling this week with an influx of patients. They all have the flu. According to the Centers for Disease Control in Atlanta, flu cases are spiking and quickly spreading in nearly every single state, including here in New York. Now, some health experts are calling this the worst flu season that they've ever seen already. So, what's being done to protect you and your family? 7 Eyewitness News reporter Josh Bazan takes a closer look tonight.
Over the past couple of weeks, we've seen a massive increase in the number of patients presenting to our emergency departments in particular with the classic symptoms of influenza.
Dr. Kevin Shiley is the Physician Director of Infection Prevention and Control for Catholic Health. These hospitals have been seeing a sharp increase in cases of the flu, something doctors are noticing across the country. According to the Centers for Disease Control, 46 states, including New York, are seeing widespread influenza activity.
This year, it does seem like we are hitting a very early spike in cases, although it is too early to tell if we've really even peaked yet. And I think that's some of the concern that we have, is that we're seeing such a rapid rise in influenza cases this early in the year. We're just not quite sure how high that's going to get.
This outbreak of the flu has staff at the Catholic Health hospitals taking extra precautions to protect patients. Anyone with flu-like symptoms is asked not to come to the hospital for visits, and children under 14 are not being allowed in as visitors at all.
A simple case of flu might be something we can get through in the outpatient world. For our patients here in the hospital with multiple medical problems already, that could even be a deadly event.
Symptoms of the flu include sore throat, dry cough, runny nose, weakness or fatigue, and a high fever. The virus can cause serious complications for young children, the elderly, or pregnant women. If you don't have the flu, it's not too late to get the vaccine, and doctors say that's a good way to prevent the virus's spread. In Buffalo, Josh Bazan, 7 Eyewitness News.
And now to what's being called a blueprint for a stronger New York. State Senator Patrick Gallivan has joined the Senate majority now in unveiling its 2018 affordability agenda. This is designed to try and help individuals, families, and seniors continue to live and work and succeed here in the Empire State. Initiatives advanced this year by the Senate will reduce the excessively high taxes. The other factors that make it very difficult to live, raise a family, own a home, or retire here in the state of New York. Solar roof production now officially underway at Solar City's new Riverbend site in South Buffalo. Initial solar roof tile manufacturing reportedly began back in December. Traditional solar panel production began actually last summer. Tesla remains confident it will achieve more than 1 gigawatt of cell and module production, and potentially as much as double that. Hiring is also ongoing and on track, according to the company. There are already about 500 employees at Gigafactory number 2. Again, that's in South Buffalo. The sun is rising once again on the former home of Gander Mountain in the town of Tonawanda. The Young Street location, which closed down last year, is going to reopen this spring under the name Gander Outdoors. The parent company, Camping World Holdings, which bought the assets of the old bankrupt Gander Mountain, will reopen about 70 stores all over the country by May. Gander Outdoors will specialize in similar products that were sold at the old Gander Mountain. The man investigating Russian interference with the U.S. election and possible links to the Trump campaign alerted the president's personal lawyers that his office is likely to request an interview with the president himself. But sources now say there's still no word on when or if the president will meet with special counsel Robert Mueller's team. The special counsel has not sent a formal request for an interview yet, but we do know that the president and his legal team have been eager for this investigation to wrap up quickly.
If Robert Mueller asks you to come and speak with his committee personally, are you committed still to doing that? Do you believe that?
Yeah, just so you understand, there's been no collusion.
Mueller's wide-ranging investigation has already resulted in a guilty plea from ex-Trump National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, who is now cooperating in that probe, and the indictment of former Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort on charges relating to financial and lobbying crimes, including conspiracy. Now to a dramatic step in improving relations between North and South Korea. During a very rare face-to-face meeting this week between the two sides, the North has agreed to send athletes to the Winter Olympics next month in Pyeongchang. The symbolic breakthrough comes after months of escalating tension over the North's nuclear and missile programs. North Korea also has proposed that the two countries march together in the opening ceremonies at the Games. South Korea mentioned further denuclearization talks between the two countries, but that was a point not acknowledged by the North Korean delegation. Now to a revolution in the land down under. Today marks the first day that gay couples could be legally married in Australia. Same-sex marriage legislation was passed just last month, which made the unions legal as of today. So at the beginning of midnight last night, same-sex couples from all over that country gathered to tie the knot before their family and friends.
So amazing to have it, and I'm never going to take that for granted.
Equality in this way, where we can get married, is a huge...
Commonwealth Games athletes Craig Verne and Luke Sullivan were the very first to say "I do" just moments after midnight last night. The future is here now at the annual Consumer Electronics Show, which is going on this week in Las Vegas. This could be the future of driverless cars. Take a look at this. Panasonic unveiling this concept SUV today. Now, there's no steering wheel, there are no pedals to operate, just a comfortable space, or a cabin as they call it, for chairs and display screens. Panasonic also envisions a relax style version of this vehicle with a 22-speaker surround system, along with side and ceiling screens if you want to watch movies or music videos. Dunkin' Donuts is hatching a new plan now that could make it harder for you to avoid cheating on your diet. The company wants to open up 9,000 new right now. Still to come here on 7 Eyewitness News at 5:30 tonight, President Trump and members of Congress playing another game of beat the clock when it comes to avoiding the shutdown of the federal government. It's Sweet Baby James. James Tate out exactly when and where and how you can get tickets coming up next. Also, the library is a good place for a lot more than just borrowing books these days. We'll find out what kind of high-tech fun you can have there for free. Our man Mike Randall is on the story. On the business beat, here's what happened on Wall Street in New York today. The Dow up again. It gained 103 points. The Nasdaq up by 6 and the S&P 500 up by 3.5. Don't go away. You're watching 7 Eyewitness News at 5:30. You know this voice. He's a singer with a classic American voice. He's going to be coming back to Western New York again this summer. You've got a friend in James Taylor because he's coming to Buffalo again, as we have reported today. Taylor, along with Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Bonnie Raitt, will perform at the KeyBank Center here downtown. The show hits the stage on the 1st of July. James Taylor has touched people with his warm baritone voice and distinctive style of guitar playing for more than 40 years now. Tickets will cost you between $70 and $100, and they go on sale this coming Friday. Carbon monoxide poisoning is a silent killer all year long, but it's more so during the winter months. There are some ways, though, that you can protect yourself and your family. Here's 7 Eyewitness News health reporter Paula D'Amico.
If you lose electricity during severe winter weather, be careful using alternative sources of power for heat. Carbon monoxide can build up in a home, which can be life-threatening. The Center for Disease Control and Prevention says at least 430 people die in the U.S. from accidental carbon monoxide poisoning every year, and almost 50,000 visit the emergency room. The colorless, odorless, and tasteless gas fumes can be produced by chimneys, portable generators, stoves, lanterns, gas ranges, or by burning charcoal and wood inside the home. To protect yourself and your family, change the batteries in your carbon monoxide detector every 6 months. If you don't have a battery-powered or battery checkup or backup detector, you need to buy one. Also, watch out for the most common symptoms of carbon monoxide poisoning: headache, dizziness, weakness, nausea, vomiting, chest pain, and confusion. Stay healthy, Western New York, and check those batteries. With today's Health Minute, I'm Paula D'Amico, 7 Eyewitness News.
Still to come here at 5:30 tonight, President Trump and Congress trying to meet eye to eye again on a compromise to try and avoid a shutdown of the federal government. Here's a live look from Skywatch 7 on this Tuesday night. It's getting a little bit lighter out there each day now. Aaron's most accurate forecast is coming up. You're watching 7 Eyewitness News. Don't go away.
You are watching 7 Eyewitness News with Keith Radford and 7 First Alert meteorologist Aaron Menkowski.
President Trump's campaign promise to build a wall on the Mexican border is now the biggest sticking point in negotiations with Congress to try and prevent a government shutdown. Both sides are really digging in now, with only 9 working days left to avoid that shutdown. The latest tonight from Washington and ABC's Kenneth Moton.
From the Capitol to the White House, negotiations underway to avert a government shutdown.
So I'm appealing to everyone in the room to put the country before a party.
Immigration at the center of the debate. President Trump flanked by congressional Democrats and Republicans, hashing out immigration reform right in front of the cameras. Hanging in the balance, the fate of those undocumented immigrants known as dreamers, brought to the country as children. A bill to address their fate expected this week.
It should be a bill of love, but it also has to be a bill where we're able to secure our border.
The big battle likely to be over Homeland Security's $18 billion request for the president's southern border wall.
If we do not do something with the security, if we do not do something with the chain migration, we are fooling each other that we solved the problem.
I want to state that emphatically. There is not a Democrat that is not for having secure borders.
On Capitol Hill, a harder tone from Democrats.
President Trump is fighting for an empty symbol rather than smart policy.
Leaders are also trying to achieve a funding deal that sets spending caps, reauthorizes the Children's Health Insurance Program, and provides emergency disaster relief.
So we have deadlines. We understand these deadlines, and I think we're having good bipartisan conversations.
Lawmakers are already signaling that as negotiations continue, it's likely Congress will once again pass a short-term funding measure to keep the government open past next Friday. Kenneth Moton, ABC News, Washington.
Business news tonight. Kohl's reporting strong sales for the past holiday season. Last month, the retailer says it increased sales by about 7% over last year. Other stores like JCPenney and Target, also Macy's, all performed well over the holidays. The numbers are providing really more evidence that the department stores are learning now to better compete against the online giants like Amazon. We have a new National College Football champion today. The Alabama Crimson Tide rolled over Georgia in a come-from-behind win yesterday. Now, they trailed late in the game, 20-7, but then overcame that deficit in overtime to win 26-23. Championships no stranger to Crimson Tide fans. This is now the school's 5th national title in 9 years. Now to a view of the ice from high above the clouds. These are images from a NASA satellite. They show massive sheets of ice in waterways along the East Coast from this past weekend. That blast of Arctic air brought record-breaking cold to the entire eastern seaboard, from Florida up to Maine. But the most dramatic effects may have occurred offshore, with ice forming in rivers and bays that rarely freeze over. Let's check in now with our chief meteorologist, Aaron Menkowski, with us tonight. He has your most accurate forecast. And good news, a bit of a warm-up.
Yeah, warm-up is on the way, but then we are back in the freezer as we get into the upcoming weekend. Take a look at your almanac page for today. Our high 34 degrees, your low today 29, that high temp right after midnight. And the temperature's kind of hovered near 30 today, but again, we're above normal. The sunset around 5 p.m. comes up tomorrow morning at 7:45. As we take a look at currents outside right now, you'll find a temp of 30 degrees with partly to mostly cloudy skies, winds out of the west at 10 miles per hour. As we look at the numbers across town, 30 in Buffalo, 31 in the Falls, mid-20s across the southern tier. Now the sun is set. Watch, temperatures will drop off pretty quickly, and you're going to find overnight lows tonight in the teens. If you're coming downtown for the Sabres game, we're looking at temperatures dropping into the teens by the time you leave the KeyBank Center, with winds light out of the southeast around 5 miles per hour. So at least the winds will be light. As we take a look at our 7 Super Doppler, pretty quiet right now. We're not going to see any precipitation across the area tonight or early Wednesday. That'll change, though, as we get into Wednesday afternoon. So here's a look at your forecast. Again, we drop into the teens tonight. A chilly start to your day on Wednesday as you walk out the door at 19 degrees. And then as we head into Wednesday afternoon, notice temperatures climbing into the 40s with some rain showers around, and expect the wet weather Wednesday night. At times, some spotty showers. And then on Thursday, better chance for rain later in the day. We'll be in the mid to upper 40s around lunchtime. 50s as we head into the afternoon. As far as rain totals are concerned, this is for your Thursday into early Friday. mostly around a ½ inch of rainfall. So you have a ½ inch of rain combined with very mild temperatures. We'll see a lot of snow melt. There'll be a lot of standing water across the area, and ice jam flooding, at least the potential, is certainly there. So that's what we're talking about through Friday around lunchtime. But let's take a look at the latest run of the Euro model. And you can see Friday morning as you head out the door, a lot of green on the screen. You'll be heading out to work or school in rain. But watch what happens as we put the map here into motion. By 4 p.m., notice the snow. So for the evening commute, it will be a snowy one on Friday, and that snow will continue and most likely intensify into early Saturday. And then as we get into late Saturday, snow showers will start to taper off, colder air coming in, and expect some scattered snow showers for your Sunday. So quite a weather roller coaster this week. Tonight we're down to 18, partly to mostly cloudy. Watch out for some icy spots and some black ice on the roadways and sidewalks. Winds light out of the southeast. On Wednesday, your high 43, sunshine in the morning, clouds will increase, rain arrives late in the day, winds out of the south 10 to 20 miles per hour. Here's a look at the extended outlook. Again, rain late in the day on Wednesday, Thursday, some scattered showers. Again, the rain showers will really pick up later on Thursday with a high of 57. Friday, we start with rain, then we mix with and change over to snow. Quite a mess on Friday. The messy weather continues into Saturday with a high near 20. We're in the low teens Sunday, mid-teens on Monday, back to near 20 on Tuesday. And your exclusive 7 First Alert 10-day outlook showing highs back to near 30 for the end of next week. If you like it mild, get out and enjoy Thursday because we're cooling off after that. Keith.
All right, good. Thanks, Aaron. Now let's see what we're working on coming up to 7 Eyewitness News tonight at 6. Ashley is live in the newsroom right now.
Keith, Aaron was just talking about those roller coaster temperatures. Well, that is why Buffalo City officials are saying get out there and clear those sidewalks or you might get ticketed. And preparing for the future of wireless internet. Why you might soon see faster speeds on your smartphone here in Buffalo. These stories and much more coming up on 7 Eyewitness News at 6. Keith.
All right, we'll see you then. Thanks, Ashley. Also tonight, all the high-tech things you can do for free at the library these days. Mike Randall on the story when 7 Eyewitness News continues. Here's what's trending on social media today. The Grey's Anatomy spinoff now has a debut date, but still no new name. This is a new show featuring a Grey's doctor turned into a firefighter. The show will premiere on March 22nd, and ABC executives hope to have a name by then, or they could just go with the joking title that the cast and the producers have been using. Behind the scenes, they're calling it Blaze Anatomy. Upcoming Oscars host Jimmy Kimmel says he watched the Golden Globes to see how host Seth Meyers would deal with the subject of sexual misconduct. But he says it's hard to say how that issue is going to be handled 2 months from now during the Academy Awards. However, Kimmel says he is ready for some jokes about last year's epic envelope mix-up when the wrong Best Picture winner was announced on the stage. Now, in case you haven't noticed, your local library has been really evolving over the past few years. These places are no longer places to just take out a book and keep the noise down. As our man Mike Randall discovered, the Buffalo and Erie County Central Library is now on the cutting edge of fun.
You remember when libraries used to just have books? Well, those days are long gone.
It's a brand new library.
So says library associate Sean Goodrich, the man in charge of the launch pad at the Central Library. That's where you'll find 3D printers.
It liquefies the filament and it goes back and forth and creates the object that you have on the laptop.
With a 3D printer, you can make almost anything.
People creating their own games make their game pieces.
Use of the printer is free, but you'll have to cover the cost of the plastic.
Glider. So all this stuff is printed here. Oh, Ben Franklin.
Also here at the launch pad, you can dip into virtual reality and even create your own.
I have a whole palette of stuff I could work with here.
If you prefer your virtual reality more real, you can hook into Google Maps and stroll through real streets.
Oh, so you're walking downtown.
Right, on Main Street.
And who knew there were recording studios for use for free at the Central Library? Apparently, Roshana Rogers did. She's been working on her soon-to-be-launched YouTube channel.
It's really helpful because I don't have Mac Pro or any of this stuff at home, so coming here is really helpful.
This studio's outfitted with everything you could need for your next production, even a green screen.
We have the lights, we have the camera, we have the mics.
And if you want to unleash your inner rock star, check out the music studio.
We can tune your guitar for you, we can make beats, we could auto-tune you.
The launch pad, a place to unleash your creativity or hang out with a robot.
You can move its head around, you can make it say funny things. You could also use this as a tool to teach the simple concepts of coding.
And if you stop by, be sure to say hi to the house robot, Mechanoid.
Can you shake my hand?
Now, if you want to check it out but are concerned that you don't know about 3D printers, virtual reality, recording studios, or robots, don't worry. That's Sean's job. He'll get you started.
It's a whole new world for librarians.
At the Buffalo and Erie County Central Library, where, yes, they still have books, and so much more. Mike Randall, 7 Eyewitness News.
And that's it tonight for 7 Eyewitness News at 5:30. Thanks for joining us. Don't go away. 7 Eyewitness News at 6 begins right now.
Shovel your sidewalk or be ticketed. The city of Buffalo sends a message to neighbors.
Also tonight, the Bills are leaving some big unanswered questions. We're live at New Era Field.
And a new smoking ban for Erie County. One lawmaker says it may be your car, but lighting up with a little one should be against the law.
Now with 7 First Alert weather. This is 7 Eyewitness News at 6.
Be careful where you step. Whoop. Yep, a lot of us on unsteady footing today with all that snow and ice buildup. Good evening once again. The city of Buffalo is sending a warning. Shovel your sidewalk or be prepared to face possible legal action.
Now, in Buffalo and in many places, property owners are responsible for clearing away that path. But as 7 Eyewitness News reporter Ed Riley tells us tonight, chipping away at all that ice is no easy job.
Because there's going to be a lot of accidents, a lot of people getting hurt, a lot of lawsuits.
Over the next few days, temperatures are going to be well above freezing, and officials in Buffalo are reminding property owners to use that time to clear sidewalks.
We're anticipating some snow coming in Saturday, so next 3 days, let's get out there, get it done, and help our residents.
It has been a tough winter so far, and it has left many sidewalks either impassable or covered with a hard pack of snow and ice.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to walk. It's slippery. Like they don't throw any salt or nothing on the sidewalks.
For people who have to walk, every step becomes a scary experience.
We're a city of good neighbors, and unfortunately, there's a few that make life miserable.
During an interview near the bus stops at Elmwood and Hurdle, we saw a woman fall.
Whoops, there's a lady who just fell right there across the street.
Oh my gosh.
Many are giving up and walking in the street, but that can have deadly results, as we saw in 2001 when 3 teenagers lost their lives after being hit while walking in Niagara Falls Boulevard because the sidewalks were filled with snow.
What we need to do is to help the kids and our seniors get down the street.
Buffalo hired a contractor to help clear sidewalks near city-owned properties, but other sidewalks are the responsibility of owners who have property abutting sidewalks and bus stops. Summons can be issued to both property owners and plow drivers.
When people are plowing out certain driveways and things and they make that mound of impassable snow on the sidewalk, we can write them a summons.
City officials are asking residents to report problem sidewalks to the city's 311 call center. Now, as far as enforcement, the city of Buffalo says it plans to issue warnings first before taking further action. In Buffalo, Ed Riley, 7 Eyewitness News.
And Western New York finally starting to thaw out a little bit after that recent deep freeze, and that is causing some concern now about ice jam flooding. Buffalo City crews are out working to prevent flooding from happening. Later on